Movies Kitchen. Today we are making two kids-friendly preparations from humble potatoes. One, kettle fried chips, and secondly, the hash browns. No more ingredients, measurements, anything. We'll just take the potatoes and show you very quickly how to make that at home anytime you want. So step number one, we will peel our potatoes. We'll use one potato for chips and we'll use two potatoes for hash browns. So just go ahead and peel. So we'll just make sure that we remove all the eyes. One important thing, when you peel your potatoes or cut them, immediately put that in the coldest water you can get from the tap. That way they will not blacken from. So our potatoes are peeled and are in cold water, so they do not blacken. Now we'll start the first one for the chips. So you can get any mandolin that you might have, or you can try it with the knife if you have good knife skills. It's just very quick doing it here, so I will just do that. So our chips are ready. As you can see, they are cut. We'll put them back into cold water so they do not blacken again, and also we'll rinse them a few times to get the starch out. So for the hash browns, what you need is any grater that you can find. Thicker the better. You don't want too fine grater because it will be too fine and you won't be able to manage it properly. So you can see the size of it. Sorry, it's a little broken at the bottom, but it still works. So we're just gonna go and grate our potatoes. Try to grate them directly into the cold water so there is no blacking time outside. So potatoes are ready in water. At this point you can just take a little bit of salt and put it in the water. It will nicely season your potatoes. You need to put a little bit seasoning later on as well, but as you can see, I'm just doing that. It also helps with the, it doesn't brown that fast. So at this point we'll just now that we have seasoned it with salt, even when it comes out of water it wouldn't brown. So all we need to do is take a bit at a time and make sure that you squeeze all the water out of it. So now is the time to add a little bit of my own twist to it. So I'm going to add few of the mint leaves and a chili pepper finely chopped and put it into my hash brown potatoes just for my own twist. Otherwise, you can have them as is, just season it with the salt and pepper and it's good enough. But just to add your own twist to it, you can always add a little bit of herb and a little bit of chili peppers in there to give it nice flavors. And we'll just finely chop our chili as well. Now you can see I have transferred it from my plate to a cake mold here, and I'll tell you, it's actually one of Moby's kitchen secrets. So instead of making it directly in the pan, it works out nicely, but to give it more refined edge and shape, what you can do is you can put it in a cake mold. You can add just a pinch of cumin seeds. It's better if you just crush them slightly in your hands to release that extra little bit of flavor. Just add a little bit more seasoning. Salt is always as per taste. So I didn't season it much before other than seasoning my water. So let just some seasoning and a little bit of pepper, knowing that there is already red pepper in there. So what I'll do is I'll actually put it in microwave for 5 minutes to get the cooking started and the shape and gelatinization to be in progress. So again, what you can do is at this point you can just pat it down with a spatula again to give it a little bit more defined shape, and you will see that it will cook much differently than it does if you just put it in the pan directly. So while our potatoes are getting ready in the microwave, we have just warmed up a little butter, heat up a little butter here in the pan, and we're heating up our oil. We need to take it to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have taken our chips out for frying, and I've just spread them out on a paper towel here to get the moisture out. So our butter is on low to medium heat. As you can see, this has been cooking for 5 minutes in microwave. It's just a shortcut to get the cooking started. So I'll just make sure that my butter comes to temperature approximately medium heat right now. I don't want the butter to start burning, and I want to have a nice slow, not slow, but kind of medium cook on this, because I want to build the crust. I don't want to overcook or burn it. So as soon as I see that my butter is ready, which it is, I'll just flip it in. And you see, that was the idea, to put it into the microwave to make it nice and brown hash brown. You'll see how beautiful it looks at this point. We want to let it cook good 5 to 7 minutes on each side, because we want to form that nice crust, and also the potatoes in the middle has to be cooked. It seems like our potato has been building some nice crust at the bottom, so it's time to flip. One of the tricks that you can use, you might have seen chefs doing a quick flip, but if you're doing it at home, you can just put a plate on top of it. You can flip it, beautiful, and then you can just slide it back in. So that's how you can complete perfect looking flip. And look at the crust, it's so beautiful. So while our hash brown is cooking on the other side for another 5 to 7 minutes, our oil has come to temperature. Again, I can see it here, it's crossing 300, going towards 320 mark. So it's just a matter of seconds before it's ready. Again, if you don't have a thermometer, all you can do is take a little piece of potato and drop it. If it starts bubbling and immediately comes to the top, your oil is ready. So just exactly what you saw there means the oil is ready. Our oil is now at perfect temperature. At this point, you don't want to put too many of potatoes in there once. It is best if you deep fry them in smaller batches. So I'm going to just take half of the chips and throw them in carefully. And as we have shown before, we can use our spider. See if any of them are kind of sticking to each other. That way they will both remain uncooked. The way I have them dried individually, there is no chance of them sticking to each other, so they will cook perfectly. This is the exact temperature where you want the potatoes to go in, and kind of just keep an eye on them. They have a habit of sticking to each other because they have too much starch in it, and they stay stuck, and the more they cook, the more stuck they get because of the gelatinization. So we'll literally just keep an eye on them. The moment you see the bubbling action going down, that's your hint, because the moisture has all evaporated from the potatoes, and now they will start burning very quickly. So you're going to keep an eye on the bubbling action to go down. And then in the middle somewhere, you can just go in and kind of flip them so they can cook from both sides, or just push them down and just keep them moving so oil continue to be in contact with all the potato surface. Alright, the chips are nice and golden, and this is exact point where you just want to round them up and get them out of the oil, otherwise they will overcook and burn. So this is the perfect timing for us to get them out. I have my plate with a paper towel ready. I'll just spread them on it, and this is the exact time where you want to grab a pinch of salt and throw the salt on it, and it will adhere best to it. Any seasoning you want to put on your chips, now is the time. So there we have it, our perfect hash brown. You can probably hear the crunch in the crust. It has built crust on both sides, perfectly cooked. And then we have our chips. You can taste the freshness, they look amazing, and their crunch is just awesome, as you can see. Most crunchy chips you will ever try. And that is just to die for. And when you taste them, you taste the freshness, and you can never get that freshness in store-bought chips. And as you saw, it took less than 30 minutes from end to end. So if your kids want it, or you want to do it for your Ramadan preparation, or you want to do it for some guests over, when this whole Corona thing is over, this is the perfect thing to prepare in a hurry.